My name's Ellouise Schoettler, and I am a storyteller. And I like to be with storytellers. First of all, I'd like to say welcome. I hope you've had a good day, and it is so wonderful on my street. It is very sunny, and it looks warm, and it's everything I've been hoping for a long time. I hope you're getting the same thing. We have a wonderful guest this day, Jessica Robertson. Am I saying that correctly?
It's Robinson.
Robinson. Okay. Here she is. She is just doing wonderful things for storytellers and for women. I think that's so important with what you're doing. Tell us what you're doing right now, Jessica.
Well, right now I'm talking to you, Ellouise.
Oh, well, I know, but what are you getting ready to do?
Which is another wonderful thing that I'm doing for storytellers and for women, is spending time with a fantastic storyteller and a fantastic woman storyteller. So thank you for having me on the show. In the future, you can see me at the Women's Storytelling Festival, which is every March, hopefully, going forward. We're in our third year. So our Women's Storytelling Festival starts March 18th through 20th in 2022.
You've done that twice before. This is three. I'm sorry that I can't be with you for this next one that's coming up. And some others, old ladies, may have to do what I had to do. I really couldn't go openly. I had to do this way for myself. How has that worked? Explain it for everybody to know what's happening.
Well, so just to let you know, you were, of course, invited to perform this year, and you were in the festival last year, and we are so grateful that we get to hang out with you, and we will hopefully see you in person next year.
Yeah.
This year, we are performing the festival live in person in Fairfax City, Virginia. And we are also live streaming it because we understand not everyone will feel comfortable being out in public. We are requiring our COVID policy, which is posted everywhere over the website, is everyone needs to wear masks the whole time. And we are checking vaccination cards, at the door. And we're also limiting audience size. So we will be spaced out in the old town hall. But it's still a scary world out there. So recognizing that not everyone's going to be coming to Northern Virginia, we are live streaming the festival.
I'm so happy to hear that, so that we can see each other, even if you're not there standing next to somebody. I think what you're doing is really wonderful, not to be stopped, just to keep moving right on and to believe, because it sounds like everything you've described is being as safe as you possibly can for the people who are there facing each other. Did you have any concerns about that when you decided?
So our our first year happened shortly before COVID. So as actually, Ellouise, you remember, we were going to do it, and then we ended up losing a lot of the storytellers in the audience that year because COVID was closing in. So last year we were entirely virtual, and then this year we debated for a while. In fact, right up until January, I think, whether we were going to do it in person or just be entirely virtual. Numbers are looking better, and most of the storytellers wanted to perform in person. And so what we're doing is we're giving people a live show, but we're trying to keep it as safe as possible by, checking vaccine cards and asking everyone to wear masks. And we're not selling snacks or anything. And we'll just take more breaks so people can go, get food and snacks and that type of thing. So,
well, I think it's wonderful that you're doing that. And I will miss you. I will be seeing you from a distance for that. But, you have to do it the best, safest way that it's possible to do that. So congratulations. I think that's really wonderful. Now, when do you start? What are the times when it's going to begin?
So Friday night, March 18th, the festival starts at 7 p.m. And then we're going to run through Sunday, March 20th at about 6 p.m. And as I mentioned, we're live streaming it, but also everyone who gets a ticket, people who get a ticket for the in-person show or people who buy a virtual only ticket will have access to the links of the videos for 1 month after. So even if you go in person, but feel like you want to watch some of it again, or, leave early on Sunday and you want to see the ending, you'll have 1 month to watch all of the videos.
That's wonderful. Was it 1 month before, or have you changed this so that this is a longer lasting look?
So last year we said it was 2 weeks, and then what happened is people kept writing me and saying, "Please, I need longer." So last year I ended up changing from 2 weeks to 1 month. So this year we're just doing 1 month. So there are 22 storytellers. It's not as packed as it was last year. Last year, we squeezed every inch out of that weekend. This year, we've like I said, we got some breaks built in. We're going to be able to breathe a little bit, but it's still going to be, a lot of hours of content. So we want people to be able to have the time to watch the videos and possibly rewatch them.
Well, I think that's fabulous. And I think that when you take this out, this is going to be up for a few weeks. And so that they hear it and they will understand it. In other words, that it's telling what you've planned and how it's going to be, plus, and prep for this. And then they can see the other tellings, the way that as many times as they want to. If they want to hear themselves over and over and over again, they can do that, so that's wonderful. What's your major thing that you want to see come out of this year?
I want to continue the mission of the Women's Storytelling Festival, which is to give a platform to women storytellers where
Right.
women are spotlighted.
Right.
Every year, even before I started the festival, I've been hearing from storytellers that there are more women storytellers by far than men, professional women storytellers, and yet we continue to see more men spotlighted on the major festival route. So this is just a place where we're trying to even things out a little bit. That's all. So that's my first priority. The second is that, as they did last year, everyone leaves saying that was one of the best festivals they've ever seen. And I've put some of the quotes from last year up on the website, because really just going back and reading over what people said, there were so many comments about how fabulous it was. And I want this year to be as amazing as it was last year. And finally, I just want to make enough money, to put it bluntly, to continue to be able to do this. So this is our third year, and every year I'm just pulling teeth to sell tickets and to get sponsors, and just trying to make this a viable festival that we can continue to have year after year, so that we can continue to follow that mission. So
I think that's so important, the way you're putting it. And it's very generous of your time, your efforts, and everything that you put into this, the thinking of it and the energy that it takes. Hey, we're all proud to have you in that spot. That, I hope. I was thinking about them last year, that there were people from other places, and there were people, some from home. Mm-hmm. What do you think is going to happen this year?
So some of the storytellers are coming from, so Kim Whitecamp is coming from Ohio. We have a storyteller coming from Chicago. Right. Linda Schuyler Ford is coming from Florida. So we have, and Sheila Arnold is coming from Hampton, a 2-hour drive. Yes. So we have storytellers coming from all over the country. We don't have storytellers coming from, Canada or Alaska like we had from last year, but there are some storytellers who are coming from all over the country. I think as far as audience, I assume it will be more local. We have sold some in-person tickets, and some of them are people I don't know, so I don't know where they're coming from, but the ones I know are people who are in the DMV, in the DC, Maryland, Virginia area. Yeah. So, maybe we'll get some people staying from far away, but I think it's mostly going to be local. That's another reason we're streaming it.
Well, I think that is good. That the other thing is that there is that home way here with the people that are coming out. And a lot of times for years, there just haven't been places or times for women, particularly, to show up and to tell their stories the way that you're fixing it so that they can, and they can feel that, that means to be a good storyteller and to get out there and tell their story. What do you think is the main feature that women are telling stories right now?
Well, we have, as we did last year and the year before, we have a mix of styles, and I find it fascinating that some people are telling folk tales, some people are telling personal stories, some people are telling tall tales or adventure stories or braided stories, and yet it's not a theme. There's no theme to the festival, but there is an undercurrent. There's a motif. There's a similar sense about the stories that people are telling, and that came out last year as well. We didn't plan it that way. It just sort of happened. So I'm telling a fairy tale, in fact, and it's a fairy tale from a strong female perspective. So it's still a traditional sort of story, but it's from a female perspective, which is a little different than a traditional tale. I have a friend telling a true story about becoming an adoptive mom, and it's about being a mom. It's a true story, but it's about this different take on it that we maybe don't see all the time. So the stories will be very different, but there will be a sense, as there were the last 2 years, of coming from a place of all of these women knowing that in a way we all get each other and we're there for each other.
Yeah, I think that sounds very important to me. I've worked with various women for years in different ways. And it's so important for us to know that we don't have to say the way that everybody says it. We don't have to be one way out. And this is, I think, what you're describing is showing that that's happening. That ability to say what you want to is happening.
And men are welcome to come to the audience to watch. And we had some men last year, and we had some men the year before. We've sold a few tickets to people I assume are men. But I do think that it ends up appealing more broadly to women. I would love if more men want to come, but we have, I'd say 80% of our audience is female. So
I am really going to be sorry about this in about a minute, because we're done our place. I think what you've said, though, has really been a powerful thing to say, to let women know what opportunities they have by coming into this, and that there's no way where they're going to be prescribed how they have to do it, but they can do whatever they want to do. And hey, that's pretty important. It's pretty important. Of course, now, Jessica, as much of many of you know, is wound up in stories all the time. And your story abilities have just blown up, so you're just getting more and more. So if there was an opportunity for you to explore a type that you haven't done yet, what would it be?
Yeah, thank you, Ellouise. Ellouise and I have been friends for 14 years, a long time. And I used to only tell personal stories. And really, it's only been in the last 5 or so years that I've been stepping out of my comfort zone, and I'm really enjoying it. So in April, I'm actually a featured storyteller at the Stone Soup Storytelling Festival. And we have to perform for kids at a school. So I think that's the next thing I will be focusing on, is telling children's stories and folk tales. So I have to get good at that by April.
I'm glad you came. Very glad.
And Ellouise, I will see you on our May show.
That's right.
our
I'm going to
virtual
be
show
in
in
on
May.
a Mother's Day. Thank you. Thank you all for coming and for being here to hearing just I can't, I get to a pace and my gas runs out and then I can't go. Jessica has run out. But I will tell you, Jessica is a woman that if she gives you a gardenia, a bush, it lasts for 11 years and continues to bloom. Thank you. Hi. Thanks, everybody. Come back soon.